One of the things that I enjoy about video games is the story and the characters and how these can evolve as the game moves forward. The first, and if memory serves, the only Mana game I have played, however, is The Legend of Mana for the PlayStation. I decided for nostalgia's sake to give Trials of Mana a try because of that. I know that there is a collection of Mana tile for the Nintendo Switch, but that is a game I haven't touched myself, so suffice to say the knowledge that I have for the Mana game series and its elements are confined to what I remember from playing Legend of Mana as a kid. Now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's get started. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Vianca, and this is my thoughts and impressions on the Trials of Mana demo for the PlayStation 4. Trials of Mana, from my understanding, is supposedly the third game in the series and can be found in the collection of Mana, and that this is the enhanced version of that title in that game collection. And from the get-go, you can tell how different the game is just by looking at its graphics alone. Gone are the 2D sprites and map tiles, as the graphical engine of the tile is overhauled to make way for the upgraded 3D graphics. Now, for a PlayStation 4 game, I had expected it to look a lot more beautiful, especially the animations and the character expressions. I mean, we have seen games that have been updated for the current consoles and see how well these have done in the graphical department. The same cannot be said for Trials of Mana. Although everything is now in 3D and it looks crisp and wonderful during actual gameplay, the problem lies in the characters' animations and facial expressions during cutscenes. There, you get to see the minimal of expressions and character animations that are reminiscent of the PlayStation 3 era, along with some occasional glitches.
You turn off the wind with that key, huh? If you do, we can bring your mother back to you.
This brings about a disconnect that I felt between me as a player and the game as it tries to tell a story that I suppose hoped to be of an epic proportion. Still, the charm that the game has is retained a bit in its graphics, if you look outside of the cutscenes, in a way that, if you played any of the other titles before, would give you an easy time to tell that this is, in fact, a Mana game. The voice acting, which should have been able to help alleviate that disconnect a bit, is also a hit and a miss depending on the character. Some have voices that really do not mesh with the character's design or their characterizations, adding to that disconnected feeling. A big example of this is Charlotte, who is by far the cutest character I have seen in this game. Though that is the case, her voice is one that I do not like much or at all.
Wait, huh? It could be dangerous. I can't let Heath face it alone. I gotta go after him.
It seemed like they went overboard with the way she spoke that, instead of making her cuter, made her sound grating instead. This is problematic, especially if you're trying to reel people in with your story. Add to the fact that there are moments in the game where cheesy dialogue and exchanges happen, as well as how idiotic some characters are to the point that they are easily manipulated, made me lose interest in the game fast.
You know what? I have an idea. How about you turn off the wind with that key, huh? If you do, we can bring your mother back to you with our super secret magic trick.
Don't you want to see her? If the wind wasn't so strong, she could come down from the heavens and see you. So how about you turn it off? For her sake.
My mother? I can see my mother?
The dialogue can sometimes turn dull as well, which overshadows whatever dramatic moment the game is going for. Some of the story beats shown in the demo have outcomes that could easily be deduced as well. The whole show don't tell aspect of storytelling is lost in the game, as everything is explained through dialogue with nary an effort from the player. Having said that, I still slogged through the entire demo and finished Reese's storyline. And though this demo impression has started off negatively, there are some good things about this title that we can talk about. Like the music, for instance. The soundtrack is mesmerizing to listen to and fits well with what the scene and the game requires. It calls for the emotion needed whether you are in the heat of battle or watching a melodramatic sequence unfold. Controls are easy to remember as well, and the inputs during battle provide no delays. You can also choose a character you want to start with, and each of them have their own introductory chapter to tell. The characters you do not select, however, can end up as your companions, and from my understanding, you can also view their initial scenarios through playable flashback chapters when you meet them prior to their recruitment to your party.
This is no place for one so young to play. But
Unfortunately for the demo, despite being asked to choose 2 or more characters to join you, you can only meet up with one while the other becomes a cameo of sorts. Also, in the demo, you're only limited to reaching up to level 7, although all of your progress, items and level included, get carried over when you buy the game and load your demo save file from there. There is also a day and night cycle. How it is executed, however, is jarring as the screen suddenly tints dark like it's about to fade out before the game tells you of the cycle change. It's not as seamless as one would like, which is something I find the title like Lacrimosa of Dana to have been able to do much better in comparison. Though the demo is nothing special, and I feel like I should blame Dragon Quest XI's for that with how much they gave us in their own demo, did provide me with the basic grasp on how the game's storytelling goes and how its gameplay is. Though I only played Reese's story, that alone took around an hour and 15 minutes to complete, and that was just from going from point A to point B as the game demanded, and with only a little bit of exploration to try to find all the chests involved. As fun as the gameplay is, especially the battles, however, I feel like this game isn't for me. And the reason for this is because of the story and the dialogue, which, as I have mentioned in my introduction, plays a very big and important role in my decisions on what role-playing games or games in general that I want to play. Perhaps the story opens up a bit more as the game progresses, or the character's dialogue changes and becomes more interesting. I don't really know, but from the demo itself, it didn't capture my attention, and it didn't make me feel like I was in some sort of epic journey with these characters. Even the thing which drives each character to accept the task that was dropped down on them seems so out of the norm for supposedly heroes to the story. Like Reed's desire to use the Sword of Mana for vengeance, for instance, and her not caring about what was happening in the world.
Reese, you can take back the kingdom of Loran and find your brother. You can bring peace to your people. Oh my.
Did you read my thoughts just now, Fairy?
This sounds too good to be true.
But please, tell me, what is the Sword of Mana?
Perhaps those who have played the original iteration of Trials of Mana would be ecstatic to see this game come to life in the current generation of consoles. But for someone who is a casual to the series, I'm giving this a pass. Maybe until it goes on sale somewhere down the line. But hey, that is just my personal impressions on this game based on its demo. You might have a different take on it. The demo is available in the PlayStation Store as well as the Nintendo eShop if you guys are interested, and if this video made you curious about it and made you want to try it out for yourself. If you do give it a try, tell me on the comment section which character you chose as your main character and which ones you chose as your companion, as well as what your thoughts are on this game based on the demo alone. And that about does it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye-bye now. Alright, first off, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you like the content of today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to let me know, and share this video to your friends, your family, and everyone you think would enjoy it. And if you haven't, please click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and become part of the Dreamer Tribe. And if you've already subscribed and you want to get notified whenever new videos come out, then just click on that bell icon and you'll get notifications whenever new videos are posted here on this channel. And that's about it. Again, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye now.